this installment, we're going to be going with the NBA bets for Friday, March 14th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for our March 14th NBA slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about the TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel. Currently at 9.56 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can go to a much broader audience. And speaking about that Patreon, we had a fantastic Thursday, especially in college basketball. Both parlays cashed. We had a 2-leg Oregon and Wichita State that cashed. And we had a 4-leg parlay at plus 330. Davidson with the spread, Texas Southern with the spread, Xavier with the spread, and North Carolina. That came through there. And we had a sweep on college basketball there with the parlays. If you want to continue and not miss out on these great plays, click on that link provided down below. You're getting full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and SIGNUP Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you can take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First up in Kaseya Center here, we have the Miami Heat 29-36 going against the Boston Celtics 47-19. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Celtics as road favorites, minus 300 with the comeback of the Heat at a plus 240. Point spread at a 7.5. Total at 216.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, 92% of the bets, 97% of the money all over Boston. For the point spread, 80% of the bets, 69% of the money all over Boston to cover. And for the total points, 87% of the bets, 88% of the money at 216.5. Just a few minutes ago, it was at 214. So this number is rising rather quickly in this particular spot here. Looking at the injury report for these two teams, Boston Celtics, we have game time decisions on Al Horford, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis, and Jaylen Brown. So you got to wait on news, wait for the initial practice and see who's going to be able to give it a go in this game. Yeah. They do this every day with the game time decisions, especially with Kristaps, and they call him out late, right before the game. They usually put him out, but we'll see who's going to be able to fully go in this spot here. Boston Celtics are trying to bounce back from a loss against the OKC Thunder. Miami Heat have been struggling all season. They have Alec Burks out, Nikola Jovic out, and Drew Smith is out for the year. All right, so for these two teams here, they've already faced twice already. Both were blowout wins by Boston. The first game was Celtics cover the 9.5 and the under 220. Then the second game was Celtics on the road win, cover the 8.5 and the under 210.5. This is the third and final matchup between, third matchup here between these two teams. This particular spot here, I'm going to be all over the Celtics in this one. Heat are struggling. They're currently on a 5-game losing streak here. Losing the Clippers, Charlotte, Chicago, Minnesota, and Cleveland. All close games there, but it's a tall task going against the Boston Celtics, who have been much better on the road and then at home. They have a 24-7 record on the road, and we're going to be going with the Celtics here in a bounce back spot. Here, you're catching the Celtics at a very non-opportune time off after this loss, and they got embarrassed on national TV here. So give me the Celtics on the money line. Give me the Celtics to cover the 7.5 against a Heat team that really has been struggling to score 104, 102, 109. They were just getting to that 100-point mark here. Celtics definitely rely on that defense, and they're going to outshoot you at the 3-point line, which is going to be the big discrepancy here between these two teams. And give me the Celtics with the over total of 216.5. We had the first 2 games go under, and technically the last 5 games have gone under here. I think the Celtics can put up a big number, stretch this towards and push it towards an over 216.5. In Wells Fargo Center here, we have the Philadelphia 76ers 22-43 going up against the Indiana Pacers 36-28. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Pacers at minus 600 money line with the comeback of the 76ers at a plus 425. Point spread at an 11.5. Total points at 232.5. Public bet percentage here, 88% of the bets, 91% of the money all over Indiana. With the point spread, this one is more on the side of Philly here, 52% of the bets towards Philly to cover. And then we have 51% of the money towards the Pacers to cover, but it's split down the middle here on that point spread. And for the total points, 76% of the bets and 84% of the money towards the over 232.5. All right, if we're looking at the injury report here, it gets worse for the Philadelphia 76ers. Not only are they missing Paul George, who went to doctors for more evaluation. Joel Embiid is out. Tyrese Maxey's out. Kyle Lowry's out. Now Lonnie Walker is out of this game here, who was one of their bright lights here, coming off the bench and providing some offense for this team. So it was really just Quinn Grimes and a bunch of bums here, a bunch of G Leaguers with the Philadelphia 76ers. And they lost. They got embarrassed against the Toronto Raptors. And the Toronto Raptors sat absolutely everybody, and they still lost by 13 points. This Philadelphia team, I've been telling you week after week that this is a full fade on Philly, and this is a clear, easy sweep here. Give me Pacers on the money line. Pacers to cover 11.5. I'm going to post 9.5. I hate losing by a point or two. They're going to win by 10. All right, plus minus 9.5 on the point spread. And for the total points, I'm going to go under 232.5. You can play it 2 different ways. You can play the under 232.5. You can play Pacers team total over, and you can play 76ers team total under. I really like that as well, with all these guys missing. In State Farm Arena here, we have the Atlanta Hawks 32-34 going against the LA Lakers 36-30. If we're looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Clippers as road favorites here, minus 150 on the money line with the comeback of the Hawks at a plus 125. Point spread at a 2.5, and total points at 231.5. Public bet percentage here, 66% of the bets, 61% of the money all over the Clippers. For the point spread, we have 55% of the bets towards Atlanta, and then we have 51% of the money towards the Clippers to cover this spread here. So people are definitely split 50-50 between public and sharps on that point spread. For the total points, 83% of the bets, 82% of the money towards the over 231.5. These are 2 teams that definitely put up big numbers scoring wise, especially when you got a Clippers team that's not fully healthy, but they have Kawhi Leonard. That's the key factor with the LA Clippers. When they have Kawhi, this is a very dangerous team. And looking at the injury report here for the Clippers, game time decision on Ben Simmons. He could play. Norman Powell is still out. He's going to be out for the next couple of days. Seth Lindy is out as well for the Hawks. Clint Capella, game time decision. Trae Young, game time decision. Larry Nance is out. Jalen Johnson is out for the year. And Kobe Buffkin is out for the year. Both of these teams are red hot right now, winning 4 out of their last 5 games. Hawks on a 4-game winning streak. And Clippers just coming off a solid win against Miami, bouncing back after losing to the Pelicans. They were due for a win. All right, now these 2 teams have played already earlier in the season in LA. The Clippers won on the money line, covered the minus 7.5, and it went over the total 229.5. If we're looking at the total here at 231, they bumped it up just a little bit here. And both of these teams tend to go over this number as well. If we're looking at the last 5 games, they're going over the total of 231, and 3 out of the last 5 games. I imagine that to be the same scenario here. I like the over on 231.5, which should be a high scoring environment here. I'll take the over, but ultimately, who's going to win this one? Clippers. I think they're the better team. And like I said, Kawhi with the Clippers, as long as he's healthy, then we're talking about well above 500 team here. Every time they've been healthy, Harden and Kawhi, they're well over 500. So give me the Clippers here in this spot, taking advantage of a Hawks team that is missing some pieces here, especially with Jalen Johnson. I think they can take advantage of this one here. Give me them on the money line and the over 231.5. In Toyota Center here, we have the Houston Rockets of 41-25 going up against the Dallas Mavericks 33-34. Looking at the current odds for this one here, we have the Rockets as home favorites, minus 625 on the money line with the comeback of the Mavericks at a plus 450. Point spread at 11.5. Total points at 223.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, 90% of the bets, 77% of the money all over Houston. But the point spread, shockingly, 53% of the bets, 60% of the money on the Houston Rockets there to cover. But there's a lot of money coming in, sharps and public. It's almost 50-50 here, very slightly, with that point spread leaning on Dallas. For the total points, 82% of the bets, 83% of the money towards the over 223.5. If we're looking at the injury report here, we all know what happened with Kyrie Irving now, and now the Dallas Mavericks are absolutely depleted. All right, this is Najee Marshall, Klay Thompson, and a bunch of guys. All right, and Najee Marshall is basically a guy. So they're really starting another team with G League players on the court right now. Oliver Prosper out for the year. Brandon Williams, game time decision. Jaden Hardy out, who was their sixth man that gave them a spark off the bench. He's out. Kai Jones, we'll see if he's going to be able to play. Dante Axum is a game time decision as well. For the Houston Rockets, the key factor for them, they got their leader back here in Fred VanVleet. All right, Fred VanVleet is back from his injury, and we saw ever since he's been back, they've handled Orlando, and they beat Phoenix as well, and they're going to get back to their winning ways. They've played phenomenally with their leader on the court. And for the Rockets, Amen Thompson is out and Reed Shepherd is out. All right, these two teams have already played 3 times this season. 2 games going towards Houston, and then 1 game going towards the Dallas Mavericks. In the first game here, let's see if we can get it up. So the first game was a Dallas cover, and an under. The under hit 3 times in a row. So the first game under, the second game was an under, third game was an under. Houston covered the second game, and Dallas covered the third game. All right, so for this particular matchup here, like I said, this is a spot where the Rockets are at home. They're a very strong home team this year, 23-10. They tend not to lose at home. And then we got another factor with the Mavericks with no stars. I think the Rockets take full advantage of this. Give me the Rockets money line. Rockets to cover the 11.5. I'm going to post the 9.5. And for the total here, I have another complication here of me thinking that the Mavericks can make this point total go towards the over. Plus, Houston Rockets at home tends to be an under. This is one of the spots that you can take advantage of. As you can see at the bottom, home favorites here, Houston Rockets. This hits at a 55.6% rate here. This is one of the best spots you can get. It's only 4 other teams, Houston, Brooklyn, Philly, and Dallas, and Chicago, that you can get an under on a home favorite. And this is what tends to happen. Houston Rockets plays very good defense at home. They got one of the better defenders at guard back in Fred VanVleet. So give me the Rockets under 223.5. In target center here, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves 38-29 going up against the Orlando Magic here 31-36. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, Timberwolves red hot -500 on the money line with the comeback of the Magic at a +375. Point spread at a 10.5. Total points at 208.5. Public bet percentage here, 89% of the bets, 81% of the money all over Timberwolves to win. For the point spread, 54% of the bets, 71% of the money all over Minnesota to cover. All right, sharps are very heavy on Minnesota after their big win against the Denver Nuggets. And for the total, 91% of the bets, 94% of the money towards the over 208.5. Looking at the injury report here, Minnesota Timberwolves are fully healthy. Finally, they got Julius Randle back. They got Dante DiVincenzo playing well as well. And for Orlando, Cole Anthony's out, Jalen Suggs out for the year, and Moritz Wagner's out for the year as well. All right, so these two teams here, we have Minnesota getting red hot, 6-game winning streak, and that was a culmination there when they beat the Denver Nuggets on the road. Okay, they won 3 times against the Denver Nuggets in this season here, and that felt like a big game that they played up for. This could be a letdown spot here. Going to be coming back home, going to be against Orlando, but Orlando, I feel like, and what you've seen from them, I feel like they turned the corner. All right, they beat Milwaukee, tough game against Houston with Fred VanVleet back, but then they really woke up against that New Orleans Pelicans. Banchero had 34. Wagner had a solid game as well. And I think that 10.5 is a little bit too much. All right, I think it's way too many points here after a big get-up spot against the Nuggets. this could be a little bit of a sleepy spot here. Give me the Magic to cover the 10.5. We're going to fade the Sharps here on this one. Love the Magic plus 10.5. And for the total, smash the over 208.5 as well. Last but not least here, we have the Memphis Grizzlies 42-24 going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers 55-10. Looking at the current odds for this matchup here, we have the Cavaliers as road favorites minus 120 with the comeback of the Grizzlies at a plus 100. Point spread at a 1.5. Total points at 244.5. Public bet percentage here, 83% of the bets, 80% of the money all over Cleveland. For the point spread, 82% of the bets, 80% of the money all over Cleveland to cover. And for the total points, we have 51% of the bets slightly towards the under. And then we have 87% of the money all over the under 244.5. People are looking at this total and trying to run away from it and just take the under since it's so high at 244.5. But these are one of the two most efficient offenses here, especially Cavaliers. And the Grizzlies have been struggling defensively, especially at home without Jaren Jackson. So this here, I can already see with the total, I'm leaning towards the over. All right, if we're talking about the injury report right here, Cleveland Cavaliers, we have Donovan Mitchell going to be out of this game, and then DeAndre Hunter is going to be a game time decision. So we're going to wait and see on him. And then for Memphis Grizzlies, they could be with Jaren Jackson actually. So he's a game time decision. But Santi Aldama is out and Zion Pullen is out as well. Grizzlies are on fire right now. They're hot right now, winning 4 out of the last 5 games. But if you watch these games, they've been playing with their food. Very uncharacteristic basketball here. They were lucky to even cover the spread against Dallas. They almost lost to the Pelicans, almost lost to Phoenix, and then barely beat the Utah Jazz that started their backups. All right, Cleveland Cavaliers on the other end, they're on fire. They're on currently a 15-game winning streak right now, and now going up against the Memphis Grizzlies and trying to push it towards 16 games. All right, for this one here, give me the Cavaliers. I don't like how inconsistent the Grizzlies have been playing. Like I said, you got to be fully 100% serious when you're going up against an elite team here in the Cavaliers. And those little spurts and mishaps where they let teams back in, the Cavaliers don't play that game. So give me the Cavaliers on the money line. And for the total, we're going to fade the public and the Sharps. Give me the over 244.5. That's going to be our breakdown for the Friday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We can definitely debate about that down below. If you guys want to sign up for the Patreon, remember you're getting full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.